I was driving to the beach with my fiance a couple days ago, and I was telling her about, you know, the story of Lamar Jackson at the NFL draft. And in telling her that story, I was reminded of how much I love that story, kind of how beautiful it is, kind of how it, frankly, is one of my favorite NFL draft moments of all time. It's really the special, cool moment. And so in the 2018 NFL draft, there were 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round. You had Baker Mayfield, number 1 overall, Sam Darnold, number 3, Josh Allen, 7th overall, Josh Rosen, 10th to the Arizona Cardinals. And then you had Lamar Jackson drafted at the very end of the first round. And Lamar was actually at the NFL draft. It was at the Cowboy Stadium in Texas. And so, again, Lamar was at the event. He's in a suit. He's in the green room waiting to be drafted. And usually, you only go to the NFL draft if you're 100% sure you're going to get taken in the first round. If there's any doubt, like if you're not a top 10 pick, basically, you don't go. Because nobody wants to be like Aaron Rodgers, where you're sitting in the green room, cameras on you, and you're not getting drafted. You're not getting drafted. It's taking forever. And then the only thing kind of worse than that is to go to the NFL draft. You're there for the first round, and then nobody takes you. Like, that's an ultimate rough moment. And so usually, like every year, about 8 to 10 guys go to the NFL draft, usually way less than that even. Because unless you're guaranteed to be a first-round pick, you're like, I'm not going to go. I'm going to save myself that problem. And so pick 32 of the 2018 first round of the NFL draft comes around. And Lamar is still there, and he's in danger of being that guy who goes and doesn't get picked. And remember, at this time, leading up to the 2018 NFL draft, there were conversations where people were thinking, Lamar is this incredible athlete. Maybe he should play receiver, maybe running back or receiver. Like, maybe we put Lamar in a position where he can use his legs all the time and take advantage of that athletic ability. Not everybody was thinking that way, but there were some people who were like, Lamar's not a quarterback. And so pick 32 comes around, and then the Ravens traded with Philly to get back into the first round and pick 32nd overall. And they drafted Lamar Jackson. And it's such a cool moment. Baltimore wanted Lamar. And there's this cool moment where, they're at the draft in Texas. Lamar gets interviewed by Deion Sanders, primetime. And Lamar is obviously emotional. You can see he's kind of upset he fell that far. He's probably like, well, I can't believe no one wanted me. And Lamar goes, it's on. Like, he really said, like, it's on. He's ready to fight. And he mentions a Super Bowl in the interview. And Deion Sanders goes, what is Baltimore getting by drafting you? And, Lamar goes, they're getting everything I have. And then I think he does mention the Super Bowl right after that. And I'm like, oh, it's so cool. Like, he's ready for the fight. And it's one of those moments where there's just a lot of drama in that moment, a lot of tension where he could have been that guy who goes and doesn't get picked. But Baltimore traded up. They wanted him. They went and got their guy. And finally, somebody believed in him. And then he gives this really awesome interview. So as I look back, that's a special NFL draft moment, maybe one of my favorite of all time. That moment where Lamar Jackson got drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. I wanted to talk about something positive. I feel like I don't mean to be, but a lot of my topics have been, the Bengals are bad, Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, I don't want to be always negative. And that's a moment where I'm like, I know I can highlight something positive. One of the better moments in NFL draft history.